Welcome to Season 6 of the Solihull Moors Road to Glory save. And after promotion last season by winning League One, we're going to play our first season in the Championship. Finances are not good at all, but we do move into a brand new 12,261 capacity stadium at the Solihull Moors Stadium. So hopefully that will help us a little bit. And welcome to the video, folks. And we start at the finance screen because, our finances are not good. It's okay at the moment. I'll get a feeling it's going to be insecure by the end of the season unless we can have some epic cup run like we did last season. If you didn't see season 5 of this save, go back and watch it because it was insane. It really was. But we are £56,190 in debt. We have a transfer budget of 83,000. We did have a little bit more than that. We'll get to the transfers very shortly, but we had to move it all into our wage budget because we were massively overspent on our wage budget. And now we're okay. Our committed spending is just below our actual budget. So we're in a position where we can't bring anybody in and we can't bring anybody out. And that's the thing. When we get to transfers, there you go. We have not brought a single player in. If we go back to the end of last season, there are players here that we brought in as part of the Premier League releasing their youngsters type thing. So we'll have a little look through those right now because they're all the ones that come in on the 13th of June. So we will be seeing a few of these in the first team. So we've got Isaac Moreno from Tottenham, came in, central midfielder, can play he prefers to be a ball win and box to box, but we can play him in a Mazzara advanced playmaker. We could potentially play him as an anchor, even though he doesn't particularly want to do it. But he is 2-star current ability with 4 to 5-star potential. Then we have Michael Foster, also from Tottenham. And he is a decent player. He's a goalkeeper. 2.5-star current ability with 5-star potential. And Cameron Plain, who was our backup, he's only a little bit under him with a lot more potential than him. So this guy has every chance of being our actual backup goalkeeper, and maybe we give him chances in games that we feel we can give him chances in. So 19 years old, 2.5-star current, 5-star potential. Lovely, lovely stuff. Nathan Coxall of Liverpool, or formerly of Liverpool. He's a centre-back. He's only 5'11", so that's a bit of a worry for me. But maybe we could sell him on for a bit of a profit in a season or two's time, get him a bit of game time as well here and there. Who knows? Then we have Prosper Nati, who I'm quite excited about this lad. 2-star current ability with 5-star potential. Plays on the right-hand side. We can play him as an inside forward. And 4 to 5-star potential. He's got a lot about him. He's got a lot of potential about him as well. His transfer value is already up as high as £650,000. What we wouldn't do to actually get £650,000 for him right now. He is out on loan for the season at Barnet. We're getting a little bit of money for him. He's made 4 appearances, got an assist at 7.22. Lovely stuff for him. Don't think any of the others have gone out on loan yet. Just have a quick check on them to make sure that I am correct in my thinking. And yes, I am. Then we have Ian Holder, also from Arsenal. He is a centre-back, can play left-back. He's 6'2", so at least he's actually got a bit about him in terms of height to be a centre-back. 2.5-star current ability with 5-star potential. He slots in kind of around here at the moment. And who knows? He's going to be in our first team. He could be given opportunities, probably will be given opportunities. Max Mulligan of Crystal Palace, who's also in our first team as well. Can play as a striker. We need someone up there after getting rid of a few of our more forward-thinking players. 2-star current ability with 3.5 to 4.5-star potential. He's staying with us. Hopefully we can make something of him. Again, he's got a transfer value potentially up to around £800,000 maximum. Again, if we was to get, say, 500 grand for him, that would be really rather nice. We are all about maximising our profits at the moment to try and repair some of these finances. And if we go back into the transfer, so that's basically all of the transfers we've done. They all came in on the same day. Then in terms of players that we got rid of, there's nobody on this side of the coin. But as you can see here, we've got Prosper Nati's gone out on loan. Jacob Batty's gone out on loan. but we have had a big sale. Tabang Timani has gone to Swansea, also the Championship, I believe. Yeah, also the Championship. And he was a good player, played 17 times for us last season. He was a young, promising talent, but we had an offer come in for him. He wanted to go. It was £650,000, potentially rising to 1 million. So we're not in a position to turn that kind of money down. So we really did have to say, okay, we'll take the money and run. What we're doing now is we're going to have a look at the schedule, and I'll show you about our start to the season, which, again, in line with what we done last season, it's been quite a mad start to the season, actually. So here we are at the schedule screen. And yeah, we've had a very decent start to it, considering I'm expected to be battling against relegation this season. And I really am expecting that. We've had a very decent start. The friendlies, they were what they were, weren't overly successful in terms of results. But it did get game time into the legs of some of our players, got fitness levels up and all that. We started off the season with a game in the Championship at home, our first ever game at the Solihull Moors Stadium. Maxed out at 12,261. If we have a look at our other games, we are maxing out every single game we play. So you could argue already we are too big for this stadium. But we started off with a 0-0 draw against Stoke City. We then played the Carabao Cup first round against Stockport. We won that 2-0 with goals from Therese Hullett and Josh Hawkes. We then went back into the league and played Fulham with a 3-2 win against Fulham in the Championship, away from home as well. Soji, Antwi and Elijah Dixon-Bonner with the goals in that game. Then we smashed Blackburn 4-1. 2 goals from Soji, an own goal and a goal from Hassawi, making it 4-1 for us. Then we played West Ham away from home and we beat them as well. Ty Soji and Ryan McArdle getting the goals in that game. Then we suffered our first defeat of the season, a 1-0 defeat at home against Reading. Then we played Oxford United in the Carabao Cup second round, a 1-1 draw, and then we won on penalties. Bristol City were up next, a 5-3 win. Josh Hawkes with 2, Soji with 1, Hassawi 1 and Farrell with 1, giving us a 5-3 win away from home against Bristol City. And then in the most recent game we played Derby County of the Championship. They're 6th in the Championship at the moment. They beat us 3-1. We was away from home. Hassawi scored for us, but yeah, we weren't good enough to beat Derby. So we're out of the Carabao Cup at the third round. So there's going to be no repeat of going to Wembley in the Carabao Cup this season. The only hope we've got in terms of money spinning ties now is the FA Cup. The Carabao Cup don't really supply you with that anyway. But what it does mean is if we go to the Championship table, we are second in the Championship. Ty Soji is the second top goal scorer with 5 goals, and he's also the most player of the matches. He's got the highest average rating out of anybody in this league. We've had a really, really good start. 6 games played, 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. Goal difference to 6, 2 points off Leicester, who are top. The top 2 go up automatically. I don't even know why I'm going into all this because it's not going to matter. If we finish 21st this season, I'll be happy with that because then we stayed in the Championship. I think this is just because we're all fresh and fit and raring to go. Feel good factor from promotion last season. I think once we get to part 2 of this video, we are not going to be second in the table. I'm quite confident about that. In terms of dynamics, team cohesion is very good. There's been barely any changes to our squad, to be fair. Club atmosphere is very good. Managerial support is very good. We've got some people here that are unhappy and asking to leave and want better deals and all this sort of stuff. Edwards and Hawks have been very upset because I can't offer them new contracts. I've told them we don't have the money and they've said that's not their problem. Well, it's not mine either. The club hasn't got the money. I can't give you the contract. It's that simple. Then if we have a look at the actual tactics screen, it's the same tactic as what we had last season. This is kind of our first choice 11, I believe. Yeah, this is their first choice 11 with Jensen in goal. Dalual left back, Ben right back, Tipton and Rooney in the centre of defence. Antwi, Hossawi and McArdle in midfield. Yeah, McArdle has moved into Elijah Dixon-Bonner's role and Hassawi has come into this role as well. Basically, if I move Elijah Dixon-Bonner up there, he's 3 stars. So McArdle and Hassawi are both 4 stars. I'm going with them. Hawks and Richardson out wide. Richardson is Capel Richardson that was here with us last season. Basically, because of the upsets we've got in the team with Edwards, I'm going with Capel Richardson and seeing what he can do for us. And if we have a look at him so far this season, 6 games played, 2 assists at 6.78. He's not been great. He's not been bad. He's settling into the team, but he is a 19-year-old. He's already valued at £1 million. So the idea kind of is that if we can give him some decent game time and we get an offer of around £1 million for him, yeah, we're obviously going to take it. Same with someone like Ryan McArdle. It would break my heart if this boy left because I love him. But £1 to £1.5 million, we can't really say no to it. He's already an awesome player for the club. He's had 2 fantastic seasons. He started this season really well also. So, yeah, we don't really want to see him go. But again, Hassari is one of their youngsters. Daliwal also is one of their youngsters. He's coming along really rather nicely. And I'm loving this team. I really am. It's massively overperforming this season to what it should do. But when you look at how mad last season was, I just think this is a really good team. We've got some really good youngsters on the bench with a nice bit of experience as well. If we actually go and have a look at the squad screen and filter it by age, you can see here we've got 18, 19, 20, 21. Then you start moving into the more experienced players, the 24s, 25s. We've not got a player that is yet 30 years old. Josh Hawkes is our oldest player. He turns 30 on the 28th of January. So we'll be 30 by the end of this season. But this is a really, and when you look at all these youngsters as well, up to the age of 12, look at all this potential they have as well. If we stay in the Championship, keep these here, keep these playing, we could have a really, really good team. And the money would then start to come in. Ian Holder, for example, who we got from Tottenham, I think it was, no, from Arsenal, centre-back, he's already got a value of 1.4 to 2.3 million. And he is also wanted. He's wanted on loan, mind you, not in terms of transfer. But if we can get him some game time for us in the league this season, try and get some eyes on him. If someone was to come in for a bid of £2 million for him, honestly, that would absolutely make this club. We do need to start making money somewhere along the line. If we have a look at the stats as well, go to the finance part of this, and the salary per annum, I mean, we are rock bottom. We're spending £4.5 million per year. Peterborough, who are the next lowest, are spending nearly £2 million a year more than what we are. And you compare our 4.3 with Fulham, who are at the top at 71.4. I mean, even if you look mid-table, say Cardiff, £24.5 million for Cardiff. They're spending 20 million more than what we are, and they're just a mid-table spending team, really. And that shows you what kind of a task we are up against this season. And really, to be quite honest, I think that's probably all there is that I need to bring you, because of the fact there's been hardly any finances or hardly any transfers going on. This is kind of the situation we're in. I do like this team. I do think we've got a really good team. I'd like to be more confident, but I do think this is going to be a season of struggle. The main struggle is going to be the finances and just how bad is it all going to get, because I am dreading this season. Let's go over to part 2 and let's have a look if I'm right to dread it or whether this team's going to surprise me. You never know. Well, it's going really rather well at the moment. We're sitting in 9th in the Sky Bet Championship. We're only actually 1 point off the playoffs. We have been in the playoffs for quite a bit of it, flirting about with it as well. But we have dropped out and we are, like I say, just 1 point away from it. We're 10 points away from the automatic promotion places. I don't think we're going to reach that. I don't think we're going to get the playoffs either, if I'm being completely honest. But this is a top half finish at the moment with 16 games to go. So if we can finish somewhere from where we are now to 12th and complete a top half finish, I will be absolutely delighted. My guess is we're probably still going to finish a little bit lower, because there are only a few points separating us from 10th. But to be fair, we're like 13th, which is the bottom half of the table, Swansea. We're like 10 points ahead of them. So unless we have a dramatic drop off, then there's every chance we could actually get a top half finish this season, which would simply be amazing. Now, we are a Jekyll and Hyde team. There's no doubt about that. Going forward in attack, we are awesome. At the back defensively, we are terrible though. If we have a look at the team stats, goals conceded, we are the 8th worst team. It weren't that long ago that we were actually the worst team for goals conceded. So at least we have improved their defence as the season's gone on. But we're also the 6th best when it comes to goals scored. So we are doing pretty damn well. In terms of our attendance, our average attendance is a full house every single home game, 12,261. But that's still the 3rd worst in the Championship. If we go back to the competitions page, the Carabao Cup, believe you knew we were knocked out by Derby County. We'll have a look at the schedule page in a minute. But yeah, knocked out the 3rd round by Derby County. In the FA Cup, we are into the 5th round, and we've got a home tie against Newcastle. That is quite heartbreaking, actually, because if that could have been at Newcastle, then that would have been immense for the amount of money we could have made from that game. But it is what it is. We've got an away game. I'm kind of hoping maybe we could get a draw in this home game and then get a replay at St James's Park. Newcastle, however, are 7th in the Premier League. So the chances of that happening are not great. But then again, it wasn't great last season. I believe we put them out of the FA Cup last season. If we have a look at the schedule page, and let's just have a look for last season, who we actually, if we did play Newcastle, I might be, oh yeah, we did. It was in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, and we beat them 3-2 at home. So you never know. There's a possibility. I'm trying to cling to hope. If we have a look at the schedule, in fact, for this season, we just talk you through what's happened so far, and we have got some big transfer news to discuss with you as well in terms of a player that has left the club, but we'll get to that very shortly. You knew about the start of the season up till the game against Derby. You'd have known about that. We then went and played Peterborough and won 3-2. We then played Rotherham at home, winning 3-1. A hat-trick of goals from our right back, Jay Ben. I don't think I've ever seen a right back get a hat-trick in Football Manager before, so that was quite something to behold, quite honestly. Then we played Sheffield United. This was just madness. This really was. We lost to Sheffield United 7-4, and this was heartbreaking as well because they went 1-0 up through Peter Vernon in the 27th minute. Then Tees Delinga made it 2-0 in the 31st minute. Then we pulled a goal back with Jay Ben getting his 4th goal in 2 games. 1 minute into injury time at the end of the first half. But then as soon as the first half started, Delinga got his 2nd of the game to put them 3-1 ahead. Then we mounted our comeback. Ryan McArdle with 2 goals, 59 minutes and 68 minutes, making it 3-3 at this point. I'm trying to keep a tally. Oh, sorry, hang on. No, Jack Clark got a goal in the 4th. So Jay Ben pulled it back to 2-1. Let's have a look. I'm getting confused myself with how this worked out, but I don't think this really actually helps anymore. But yeah, Peter Vernon 1-0, Delinga 2-0, Jay Ben 2-1 in the 45th plus 1 minute. Then Jack Clark scoring for him in the 45th plus 3 minutes, making it 3-1. Then on 46 minutes, it was 4-1 through Delinga's 2nd goal. Then came Ryan McArdle's 2 goals to put it back to 4-3. And then on the 90th minute, we made it 4-4. I was ecstatic. What a comeback this was. And then we conceded 3 goals in the 93rd, 94th and 96th minute. Benny Traore and Delinga, who ended up with 4 goals in the game. How we just capitulated in them final 3 minutes of added on time, I don't think I'll ever be able to work that out. But our goalkeeper, Lucas Jensen, on a 6.4. Their goalkeeper, Cole Rushworth, on a 6.6. I think they've both done quite well to get them ratings considering the amount of goals that went in. But this goes to show you what I mean about how bad our defence is. It's really not to the level that it needs to be at. And this started a run of pretty poor form because West Brom were up next. We lost 3-1 to them away from home. Then we lost away from home again against Cardiff 3-2. Then we played Luton, who were up there in the league. They're like 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. They're in the playoffs at home, and we beat them 4-3 in another incredible game. I mean, just look at some of these games. 5-3 there, 3-2s, 3-2, 7-4, 4-3. I mean, if you watch us play, you're pretty much guaranteed goals. Then we played Coventry, who were rock bottom of the league at the time, and a 2-0 win in that game, actually keeping a clean sheet. I think that might actually be our first clean sheet in the league since the game against Stoke on the opening game of the season. Then came Lincoln, and we lost 2-1 to Lincoln away from home. Sunderland away were up next. Capel Richardson with the only goal giving us a 1-0 win. Then we had Birmingham and a 1-1 draw in that game. Swansea were up next and a 1-0 win in that game with Oliver Tipton. Then we played Leicester at home. And again, we had another pretty poor run here with only one win in 5 games, 4 defeats out of those 5. It was a 3-2 defeat at home against Leicester City. Then against Watford away from home, we lost 3-0. Against Millwall, we won 2-0 in this game. Now, only win in these 5 games. Then we played QPR and lost 2-0. Then we played Sheffield United. And I mean, I was dreading this game because of obviously what happened in the first one. We lost 3-0 away from home in that game. Then we played Derby County and a 3-0 win in that game. Back-to-back clean sheets here, both at home. Hull City also 3-0 after that. Then we played Millwall again and won 1-0 in this game. West Brom at home, a 1-1 draw. Then Luton were up next with a 3-3 draw away from home. Then we played Brentford in the FA Cup third round, a 1-0 win with a goal from Ryan McArdle. Then we had Cardiff in the league and we lost 1-0. Then we played Swansea in the FA Cup fourth round and a 3-2 win in this game. One of their youngsters, Ian Holder, getting a goal in there as well. Then we had Coventry away from home, a 1-1 draw. Disappointing result considering where they are in the league. And Lincoln, a 1-0 win at home with a goal from the rarely seen Teddy Rowe. And that is where we're up to now. Our next game is against Reading, who are 5th, and we're away from home in that one. And yeah, that has basically led to us being 9th in the Championship. Ahmed Hossawi, we're going to get to him in a minute, we talk about transfer news, with 9 assists in the Championship for us. He's 3rd in that little list there. He has been absolutely amazing for us. If we have a look at finances, we are £764,000 in the red. Finances are okay at the moment. We've got a transfer budget of £589,000 and we've got £18,000. Now, we did have a situation with the wages where we were teetering on the edge. We were just under it, but we were teetering on the edge. I think it was something like 101,000 or 99,000 or something like that at the time. And we had player bonus or players that were like 5 appearances away from triggering a raise in their contract. We had other players that we needed to give contracts to try and keep them here for next season. So we got the email come through from the board where they wanted to know if we wanted to change the season expectations. To begin with, it was attempt to avoid relegation. The other option was avoid relegation or avoid relegation battle. Because of where we are in the league and how well we're doing, I changed it to avoid relegation so that it upped the wage budget to £118,000, nearly £119,000. It didn't change the transfer budget at the time, but it did the wage budget. After what then happened, I realised there was no need to actually change the wage budget because we could have changed it ourselves with the amount of transfer budget we got. But it is what it is. In terms of dynamics, the team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is very good. Managerial support is excellent. We've got Awara Edwards wants a new deal to reflect his ability. I think he's out of contract at the end of this season. Yes, he is, and he will be leaving probably on a free transfer. Josh Hawkes is the same. He's not leaving at the end of the season. He's got another year left on it. We may end up keeping him. We may offer him a new contract now that we've actually got the money in the wage budget. Caden Everest is disappointed that I didn't let him join Barrow. It's because he's my backup right back is the reason why I didn't let him go. So tough luck. And Caden Everest again, that I didn't let him join Aldershot, both of them on loan. That'll get resolved at some point. I've no doubt about that. If we have a look at the squad itself and come along to our top goal scorers, Ty Soji is going to be a top goal scorer. He's got 3 goals so far this season. Ryan McArdle is their second top scorer with 8. And then Josh Hawkes with 7. In terms of assists, our top assist is Teddy Rowe with 6 assists in all competitions. Then we've got Richardson and Hullett with 4 apiece. And there's also Dalloway and McArdle also on 4. Ryan McArdle, a very, very good player. Let's get to the transfers though, because I know that's what you really, really do want to hear. And we're in a situation where, if we go to the transfer history, Ahmed Hassawi, our absolutely amazing 20-year-old central midfielder's partner in Ryan McArdle, he has really come on. I think he was about 3 stars at the beginning of the season. He's now 4.5 star, potential to be a 5-star player as well. And I didn't realise at the time that he had a minimum fee release clause in his contract. And we got an offer from Lons, and they offered us, at the time, it was something like 1.9 million, raising to 2.5 million, something like that. We upped it, being a bit cheeky, I thought, to be 2.5 million up front, eventually rising to 3.8 million. And the other instalments, there was a load of it on instalments, and then there was something like £825,000 that was based on 1 international appearance. He's already made 4 appearances for Saudi Arabia this season. So the next time Saudi Arabia plays, he will make that cap. So that 825,000 was basically a guarantee, and pretty soon. It took the total value up to 3.8 million. What then happened, and I will put a screenshot on screen round about now, where we got an offer from Sheffield United for a straight 3.8 million. And then Southampton also came in with an offer of £525,000. I think that it was £525,000. And basically, the release clause that he had in his contract was for £525,000, but it was to clubs in a higher division. Now, Sheffield United are obviously in the Championship with us, and so therefore they couldn't do the 525,000. Lons are obviously not in a higher domestic, it's domestic higher division. They're not domestic, obviously. And then after that, we then got an offer from Ipswich Town for another £525,000. Now, I was looking at it at the time thinking, if I'm him, I'm going to take the offer from Lons, because if we have a look at Lons now, and this really, I can't believe it. They're in the Europa League. They're 6th in Ligue 1. To me, that seemed like the best team to go to in terms of playing at a higher level. You're going to be playing in continental football, European football. You're going to be in the top 6 of Ligue 1. If we have a look at RC Lens' previous positions, 2nd, 6th, 3rd, 8th, 4th, 5th, they are always there and thereabouts. He's even got a chance of getting Champions League football if he goes to Lens. He turned them down. He also turned down Sheffield United, which I didn't blame him, because they're in a Championship with us. They are chasing promotion. They're in the playoffs, so he could end up going to the Premier League with Sheffield United if he went to them, but I don't blame him turning them down, as long as he took this one. But then you look at Southampton, and I knew as soon as we had clubs come in with an offer of 525,000, I knew that Football Manager was going to screw me and make sure he goes to one of the clubs that's done the 525k. They're 16th in the Premier League, and they're 4 points outside the relegation zone. They basically look like they're going to potentially get relegated. They might survive. They are actually a pretty decent team, Southampton. I was surprised to see them down this low. But the offer he accepted was Ipswich. They came in with a 525k offer. They're bottom of the league, 3 points adrift of the relegation zone, and he's taken Ipswich. He could have gone to Lens and had Europa League football, potentially Champions League football next season. But no, he turned that down to go to Ipswich. Now, one reason why I'm a bit annoyed about that is because if he'd gone to Lens, or even Sheffield United, he'd have been doing us a solid as well by giving us £3.8 million in cash. And I'm just really annoyed about it. I've calmed down a bit to what I was, because I was actually quite angry when it first happened, because I just can't believe he'd been such a dipstick. So, yeah, he's gone for 525k. Cameron Plain has also gone to Accrington on loan, 15.25k loan fee. There is the option of making that move permanent for £100,000 at the end of the season if Aldershot choose to do it. And Muszalowski has gone on a free transfer to Corona. So 3 players out. Ahmed Hassawi has come back on loan from Ipswich. They did offer us the player back on loan. I accepted it, so he is here for the remainder of the season. But the heartbreaking thing is we now see him in blue. We'll have to make the most of him because he's not going to be here much longer. With Cameron Payne leaving, we've promoted Michael Foster, a 19-year-old that we got from Tottenham, and 2.5-star current ability with 4 to 5-star potential. He's a decent goalkeeper, and at the age of 19, he could well be our goalkeeper of the future. He has already played a league game for us because Jensen got injured pretty much the second that Cameron Payne walked out the door, and that's pretty typical, really, isn't it? But yeah, so that's where we stand, and that's where the £589,000 transfer budgets come from as well. But yeah, as it stands at the moment, we've got the FA Cup to look forward to, a game against Newcastle, but the main focus has got to be, can we stay top half of the table? It looks like we are going to avoid relegation, so let's just see how good this season could potentially turn out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got to the playoffs. We finished 5th in the Championship. 46 games played, obviously. 24 wins, 9 draws, 13 defeats. We did have quite a few defeats. In fact, you have to go all the way down to Blackburn in 10th for a team that had more defeats than us. And we also had Ty Sodji in the top 3 goal scorers in the Championship as well. Jacob Brown of Luton was above him with 26. And Tis Delinga of Sheffield United, we knew all about him. He got 5 goals against us in one game, remembering that 7-4 defeat. He got 36 goals in the season. He was by miles the top goal scorer. And, I mean, he's far too good to ever come and play for us. But if we have a look at him, they bought him from Salento for 3.2 million. They originally bought him from Toulouse for 8.25 million. And he done all right with Salento. Didn't really do a great deal with Toulouse after they bought him. But yeah, he's gone to Sheffield United, 15 in 44, 23 in 44, 36 in 43. He's getting better each season. What's the age of him? He's 28 years old, so he is entering the peak of his career at the moment. But for Sheffield United, 131 appearances, 74 goals. That is a very decent return indeed. I wish we had him. In terms of assists, Ahmed Hassawi, who obviously is no longer our player, but is on loan with us at the moment. He got 15 assists, second in the assist charts. Lucas Jensen, I'm actually amazed that he's anywhere near this. 15 clean sheets this season, he's joint second. And in terms of interceptions per 90 minutes, Jay Ben with 3.48 is third on that list as well. So well done, Jay Ben. But yeah, we got 5th place. We got to the playoffs. We played Luton and we beat them 2-1 in the first leg, but then they beat us quite comfortably in the second leg, and they go through to the playoff final along with West Ham and Luton. Leicester and Sheffield United have gone up automatically. So Mr. Hassawi here, that had a choice where he could have gone to Sheffield United for 3.8 million. If he did, he would have gone through as second in the Championship, guaranteed Premier League football next season. He went to Ipswich instead. Genuinely, I don't know how they're doing. I don't know if they avoided relegation or not. Let's have a look. Yes, they did, just. So it's kind of worked out. I hate that. I wish they'd got relegated, to be quite honest. But Burnley, Nottingham Forest and Wolves are coming down, which is actually very interesting because we have an affiliation with Wolves. So that affiliation will be terminated because we're going to be playing in the same division as each other. But if we have a look at the schedule, and the last time he was with us was just before we played Reading. We played Reading, we lost 3-2. Ahmed Hassawi got a goal along with Josh Hawkes in a 3-2 defeat away from home. Then we were at home against Bristol City, a 2-2 draw in this one. And then Peterborough, a 1-0 win, one of those rare. I mean, we did keep a few clean sheets in this part of the season, but they were rare. A 1-0 win against Peterborough, Richard Farrell getting a goal in that game. Then we played Sunderland in the league at home, a 3-0 win against Sunderland, very good performance. Richard Farrell scoring for the second game in a row, gave him a couple of starts there. And then Rotherham were next up, a 4-1 win away from home against Rotherham, an own goal to start things off. Teddy Rowe got a couple of goals and Ty Sodji also got on the goal. Got a goal. We did offer Teddy Rowe a new contract, which is accepted. I'll get into the new contracts later on in this part of the video. We then played Newcastle and it was agony because I said in part 2 of the video that in an ideal world we'll get a draw and then we'll have a replay at St James's Park and earn a load of money from it. We got a draw. We even went 1-0 up. Torres Hullett, who has become my first choice left inside forward towards the end of the season, He scored on the 39th minute. Pedro Goncalves equalised just after half time. And when it got to 90 minutes, I was celebrating that we got a 1-1 draw. But then it went to extra time and then penalties, and we lost on penalties. Oliver Tipton, who's a regular penalty taker for us and regularly scores them. If we actually have a look at his chart, in terms of penalties, I'll say he's a regular penalty taker. He's taken 2 and scored 2. So, yeah, he is usually our penalty. He's kind of classed as one of the best of a bad bunch. I mean, his penalty taking is 9. Hasawi scored his, Jay Ben scored his, and then Ty Soji missed his. Newcastle won 4-2 on penalties, and we got barely any money for it. We got about £300,000, £200,000, something like that. Then we played Birmingham away from home in the league, a 2-0 win in that game, followed up by top of the table Leicester, a 2-2 draw against them. Then we played Swansea in the league and a 4-1 win. Ty Soji getting a hat-trick, Ahmed Hasawi getting a goal as well. Then we played Fulham to a boring 0-0 draw. Well, it was boring up until the 95th minute when they had a player given a straight red card. So dirty, dirty Fulham. Then we played Stoke and lost 3-0 at home. That was not a particularly good result. It weren't a good performance either. Lucas Jensen was absolutely terrible in that game, whereas in the game against Fulham, he got an 8.4. He got the Man of the Match award, and I think he made something like 12 saves. He was phenomenal. He is actually genuinely, he's a very good goalkeeper, but he just obviously had a bit of a poor day against Stoke. Then we played West Ham. We won 4-2 in that game. Hullet getting on the score sheet again. Then we played Blackburn away from home and lost 2-1. Then it was QPR at home and a 3-0 win. Ian Holder, a young centre-back stroke left-back, getting on the score sheet there. Then we had Derby away from home and a 1-1 draw. Caden Everest, who's a young right-back for us. I really want to keep him. His contract runs out at the end of the season, but he has no interest in re-signing a new contract. He's still got the ump with me because I stopped him going on loan to Aldershot and Barrow, I think it was. And no matter what I try and do, he's still got these negatives. When I speak to his agent, where is it? There you go. Speak to his agent. No, not interested. So it looks like we're going to be losing a very promising young player. He prefers to play a bit further forward. We play him as a backup right back to like 1.5 stars. But he has made 13 starts and a sub appearance for us. 6.65 has not set the world on fire, but he has got a goal and an assist. So, yeah, that's disappointing. Hopefully, I'm still aiming to be able to keep him, but I don't know. It depends if you can find another club, I suppose. Then we played Watford and won 3-0 in that game. Hull were next up away from home, and a 2-1 win against them confirmed us to finish 5th in the league. Then, like I say, we played Luton in the playoff semi-final, a 2-1 win in this first game. Oliver Tipton in the 45th plus 1 minute, and then they equalised in the 90th minute, and we won it with a Teddy Rowe goal in the 94th minute. But then when we went to Luton, 4-1, it was a bit of a poor performance from us, to be fair. But I can't really complain because when you consider I fully expected us to be around here battling against relegation, and we've got into the playoffs. I need to stop underestimating this team. We've got a really good young team that has got a little bit of experience in it. It's got some youth in. I mean, you look at the defence, we've got 30, 27, 25, 25, which is still young. 27, then we've got 22, 21, 20, 20, 25. Then on the subs bench, we've got some teenagers as well. We have a really good, promising young team. If you have a look at we filter it by ability, we've got some really good players ability-wise. You filter it by potential. Just look at all this potential. It is a really, really good, promising team. This guy here, Michael Foster, as well, he's made 3 starts for us this season, 1 in the FA Cup, 2 in the Championship. He's a very bright prospect for us, and he would also be a homegrown at club player if we keep him at the club. So my intention is I want to make him my cup goalkeeper for next season and have him play in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and just try and bring him through because he's 2.5 star with 5-star potential. If we look at our current goalkeeper, Lucas Jensen, he's obviously a number 1. There's no doubt about that. He's 30 years old, so he's still got a few years left in him at the moment. But when he eventually leaves us, and I mean, he is wanted, to be fair. He's wanted on transfer by Southampton. He's got a transfer value of 4.6 to 5 million. Let's have a look at he's got a minimum fee release clause of 5 million. So that's fine. If Southampton want to offer me 5 million for him and take him, I'm open to him going, because I think Michael Foster will be good enough for us next season. And we've got some decent goalkeepers in our dev centre anyway. Talking of the dev centre, we'll have a look in there at the moment, because we've had our youth intake. It's not been very good. I'll pre-warn you now. We've had a very good attacking midfielder on the right-hand side, Egger Rafn-Runarsson, an Icelandic lad. How old is he? 15 years old. 1.5 star current, but with 5-star potential. We've got some hope for him. After that, it's just padding out our under 18s, quite honestly. As it says there, below average intake. It was very poor. I'm getting a bit concerned by youth because it seems to be getting worse and worse every season rather than getting better. We do have an average under 21 squad, a strong under 18 squad. We have got players coming in next season that we've got from the April email, where they release their youngsters and you bring them in. We've got 6 or 7 of them coming in, but I'll show you those in part 1 of next week's video. In terms of finances, we're £1 million in debt. And with the transfer budget, I have moved some of this out of it because I realised we had no scouting budget. I don't know how we didn't have a scouting budget, but we had no scouting budget. So I moved money into the scouting budget so we could scout players. And I also moved some into made up £2,000 in the wage budget, just because we were getting close to breaching our wage budget at the time. So I just moved a little bit over. We've still got 329,000. These are our budgets for next season: £329,000 and 120. This was originally 118. The board, when they set the budgets, reduced it to 116,000. So that's why I moved some of it over, just to boost it up, because at the 116,000 we were on, we were by a few £100 over our wage budget. If we have a look at dynamics, team cohesion is very good. Club atmosphere is excellent. Managerial support is excellent. We did have a job offer as well coming from West Brom. I'm not sure where they are in any of the leagues. They're all the way down here. I'm not going to be going to West Brom. I think that's quite safe to say. But yeah, we have a look at our squad. If we have a look at contracts expiring, we've got Awara Edwards, who's asking to leave anyway, so he will leave. Cade Craig will most likely leave as well. Will Hondermark most likely will go. Jay Ben, I need to have a look at him. Yeah, I've got him signed to a new contract. So there are some of them, like Jay Ben, for example, that, and I just need to check the others just to make certain. But yeah, so Will Hondermark will be leaving. Cade Craig will also be leaving. So yeah, Jay Ben offered him a new contract, but it kicks in at the start of the new season. So Edwards, Craig, Hondermark, Everest by the looks of it. Hasawi will be gone as well because his loan will run out. So there will be a few players we need. I'll have a look at the players we've got in the dev centre. This has kind of turned into a youth development save kind of by mistake, but we do have to be a bit aware of our finances. We don't have a great deal in the wage budget at the moment, but hopefully by the time the 1st of July gets here, that will look a lot better. But the way I'm kind of looking at it is, if we go to our under 21 squad, look at what we've got in here and then consider what we've got coming in. There's no point me bringing in a free transfer that's 2.5 stars when I've got, say, maybe Nathan Coxall that's 2 stars already with 4-star, 3.5 star potential. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And that pretty much brings us to a close for this part of the video. Oh no, it doesn't. We've got to do the end of season review and all that. I'm getting well carried away myself. Right, we'll go through these as well. Club Vision Expectation, they're delighted with everything, and I don't blame them. Next season, they want us to work within the wage budget and attempt to avoid relegation from the Championship. I mean, you had that for this season, and we got into the playoffs. I think that even if they just changed that to avoid relegation or avoid a relegation battle, something like that. But okay, fair enough, we would accept it. Squad dynamics we've already been through. The end of season team meeting, we've just got to tell them that we're going to avoid relegation. The season is finished now and it's time to focus on what lies in store for us next time around. I think we might be in for a relegation battle next year, and you're all going to need to battle hard to stay up. Yep, they're pleased with that. I'm pleased with it as well. That's all for now. Leave them with a smile on the face. That is what it's all about. Next season, new season team report, wonderful stuff. Oh, we get to choose a training camp destination. I mean, I kind of feel like I need to take them somewhere exotic. You know, I can't really take them to the West Midlands or Scotland or Ireland. Nothing wrong with Scotland and Ireland, by the way. They're very beautiful places. But do we go to the Algarve or do we go to Andalusia Occidental? We're going to go there because if you swap that O with that A, it's Accidental Spain. So I think we're going to choose to go there for our training camp. Should be nice and warm as well. Cameron Plain couldn't avoid the drop. So the team is with Accrington. They're in Sky Bet League 2 now. Jacob Batty, yep, all wonderful. Oh, yeah, that's a point. One thing I do want to show you as well is Ryan McArdle signed his new contract with us. He had a value of around 5 million at the time, but he also had a minimum fee release clause of £500,000 of clubs in a higher division. And I was petrified that he was going to end up leaving us. So we've got him on a new contract. It's a 4-year contract. He has still got a minimum fee release clause, but it's 12.5 million. If a club wants to come in and give me 12.5 million for Ryan McArdle, I wouldn't say I'll happily see him leave, but we can't turn down 12.5 million. If someone comes in with 10 million, I'll probably end up saying yes, to be quite honest. Luckily, he's not wanted by anyone, so we're quite fortunate in that respect. And Teddy Rose, I can't remember if we've got one. Yeah, so we offered him a new contract as well. He's on a 3-year contract. His minimum fee release clause was 1 million, has now gone up to 11.5 million. So again, if anyone wants Teddy Rowe for 11 million or even 10 million, he can go. But as you see, he is a pretty consistent player for us, a pretty consistent performer. And with Hassawi leaving, I'm kind of looking at the fact that Teddy Rowe will slot in there and we don't really lose anything by way of quality. Ricky Dallowell, one of the other youngsters we had come through from the emails you get, he's now a regular first choice left back. Who else have we got? We've got obviously Ryan McArdle, Teddy Capel Richardson. He's developing quite nice as well, as is Tyrese Hullett. These youngsters we bring in, they're worth having because you can get them to develop quite nicely. So yeah, let's move on to the end of season review and we'll have a look at that and finish up part 3 of the video. And here we are for the end of season review. No lovely little trophies on here, but it's still been an amazing season though. Right, the new arrivals, Michael Foster. I mean, they're all free transfers. He came in from Tottenham, 6.9 from 3 appearances. Like I said earlier on, he's a very good, promising young player. Ian Holder from Arsenal has been given our sign of the season. He's made 11 starts, 12 sub-appearances at 6.89, 2 goals and an assist as well. He plays sometimes as a left wing back, sometimes on the left side of the 2 centre-backs. He's got a lot of potential though, and he's looking very, very good. 4 to 5 star potential, 2.5 star already. Yeah, I like him. Max Mulligan from Crystal Palace hasn't really done much for us this season. It's been mainly subs appearances, but again, he's another promising youngster. 6 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist at 6.72. And Isaac Marino from Tottenham, 6 appearances, no goals or assists, 6.52, plays mainly as a defensive midfielder. In terms of the transfers out, Ahmed Hassawi, I mean, the board are content with the deal to sell Hassawi. I'm still quite angry about it, actually. I hate the fact that we've had to sell him. Issa Mohammed went to Chase Town, done quite well. Muzalowski has gone to Corona, done all right. Timani, who we sold for £1 million. I mean, the board are delighted with that. And then Lewis Florini. So I'm quite surprised we've not got him on here as a player we've sold, because we have sold. So that's a bit odd. So yeah, we've got 525,000 for him, 1 million for him. That's £1.5 million. We would be in a lot of financial difficulty. We'd be like £2.5 million in debt if we hadn't sold both them players. Then if we have a look at the league, we know what we've done. The FA Cup, we got to the 5th round. Was it the 5th round? 3rd, 4th? Yeah, 5th. And we lost to Newcastle on penalties. And the Carabao Cup, we went out to Derby County 3-1. Every competition we're in, our attendance is maxed out at 100%. We're already too big for the brand new stadium that we've got. Moments to remember, the biggest win, 4-1 against Blackburn in the Sky Bet Championship. Match to remember was a 2-1 win against West Ham. I mean, the match to remember, I probably would have said, was the 7-4 defeat against Sheffield United. I'm not going to forget that in a long time. Goal of the season is Cameron Antwi, a truly memorable goal from Solihull Moors defensive midfielder Antwi, as he hits a fierce effort from 20 metres out. That was in the 3-2 win over Fulham. If we have a look at the finances, competition prize money is obviously down because we haven't got to the Carabao Cup final or anything like that. But sponsorship is slightly up. Broadcast revenue is up by quite some amount. That'd be because the Championship is on TV, whereas League One, League Two doesn't seem to be, not in FM anyway. Corporate and hospitality has gone up by a bit, and matchday commercial and retail has also gone up by a little bit as well. Our top shirt sales: McArdle, Rowe, Newton, Sodgy, and Edwards. Edwards won't be here next season, so he won't be on that for then. We've sold made £449,000 in total merchandise sales. Non-domestic sales amounting to 44.9 thousand this total, and we've sold 5,147 shirts. Lovely stuff. In terms of their best 11, they've got Jensen in goal, Dallowell and Ben in the wing-back positions, Rooney and Tipton four. I don't disagree with that back five. Antwi, Rowe and McArdle. The only thing I disagree with there is that would have been Hassawi, but obviously he's on loan and leaving, so they put Rowe in there. But that's fine, it's what it will be next season. Hawks and Richardson out wide with Sodgy up top. Yeah, I think that's quite reasonable. Our goalkeeper finishing with a 7.01 goes to show what a great season he had. Jay Ben is awesome, 7.12 for him, and Ryan McArdle with 7.14. In terms of the accolades, Lucas Jensen has kept the most clean sheets by a player in a season with 17. Again, I'm stunned by that with how poor we are defensively. In terms of the player awards, Ryan McArdle has won the Fans Player of the Season and the Young Player of the Season. Side of the season, as we know, is Ian Holder. Cameron Antwi with Goal of the Season. Top goal scorer is Ty Sodgy. Most assists is Teddy Rowe with 9. I think that would have been Hassawi, again, if he wasn't on loan and leaving again. Most player of the match awards, Ryan McArdle with 6. Highest average rating, you can tell who our star player is now, can't you? Ryan McArdle. And most passes completed per 90 minutes, Oliver Tipton with 68. And no Manager of the Month awards for me. And I don't think I'm going to win Manager of the Year either. Solihull Moors, thanks to a great run way back at the start of the season, proved much better than people had expected, from Gary Jones at ITV Sport. And at teamtalk.com, Cara Duffy has said once Solihull Moors got rolling early in the season, they never looked back. And the manager timeline is what the manager timeline is, as I always say. Just quickly going through some of these. And I don't think there's really much more. We've got £83,000 there. It's brought the amount we're overspent it, like a bank balance, to under £1 million. We're back, I don't know how, but somehow we're back to being overspent on our wage budget again, on the committed anyway. So yeah, that is pretty much all she wrote. And I will see you next week for the next episode, a second season in the Championship. Can we get to the playoffs again? Will we finish mid-table? Who knows? The only way to find out is to join in next week. So I'll see you then. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week for the next episode of the Road to Glory Save with Solihull Moors.